Hi everyone. Our topic for today affects every one of us, our sense of self. Have you ever asked, who am I really, or why do I behave the way I do? Philosophers have been exploring these questions for centuries. Let us explore how their perspectives can help us understand ourselves better, beyond just our names or appearances. But first, let us enumerate the objectives of our lesson for today. Number one is to explain why it is important to understand the self. Then, number two, to describe and discuss different philosophical notions of the self. Number three is to analyze similarities and differences in perspectives. Lastly, is to evaluate one's own identity in light of these views. Let us try to connect with what these philosophers are saying, not just in theory, but in how they relate to your personal experiences. So keep an open mind and be ready to reflect on your own identity through their lenses. What's in a name? Let's start simple. Why do names matter? Most of us didn't choose our names, but we carry them everywhere on IDs, in classrooms, even after we pass away. But have you ever wondered, are you just your name, or is there something deeper about who you are? Names help build our sense of identity, but who we truly are goes deeper than that. Think beyond the label and into the essence. For example, a student was named after a saint may or may not reflect those traits. Then why do we need to study the self? The self is not fixed. It is an evolving concept reshaped throughout life. Understanding the self helps us grow, make better choices, and relate to others more deeply. How come a teenager who used to be shy and introverted grows into a confident leader, for example? Back in the day, people explained everything through myths, but then came the Greeks, asking tougher questions. What is the world made of? What explains change? Eventually, those questions turned inward. Who am I? That's where our philosophical journey begins. Let us first discuss the works of Socrates and Plato. Socrates was kind of the original self help guru, but way more intense. He didn't write books or give lectures. He asked questions that made people uncomfortable. He believed that unless you examine your life, it's not even worth living. That's deep, right? He said we all have a soul, and understanding it is the key to living well. Socrates held the belief that gaining insight into ourselves is more important than trying to understand the universe because the unexamined life is not worth living. Now let's talk about Plato's tripartite soul. Plato, who was Socrates' student, believed your soul has three parts: the rational soul or the logos, the spirited soul or the nymos, and the appetitive soul or the eros. Think of it like this: your inner world isn't just one voice but three, and each one wants different things. The rational soul is your voice of reason. The planner, the thinker, it seeks truth and wisdom. The spirited soul is your passion and ambition. It fuels courage and emotion. It seeks honor and victory. The appetitive soul wants pleasure like food, fun, money, relationships. It seeks pleasure and physical satisfaction. Plato said that sometimes the rational soul is in conflict with the appetitive soul. The spirited soul tries to keep them in line. Picture this: a college student's inner battle. The student is torn between her rational and appetitive souls. Sounds familiar? These parts aren't bad, they're natural. But problems arise when one overpowers the rest. According to Plato, when your reason guides your actions, your emotions drive you to do what's right, and your desires don't take over, you are at peace. That's Plato's ideal self. A well balanced self leads to a virtuous life. Fast forward to St. Augustine, who blended Plato's ideas with Christianity. He believed our souls were created to seek God and that our real self is in that spiritual yearning. Have you ever felt a longing for something bigger than yourself? That's what St. Augustine would say is your soul reaching out. St. Augustine emphasized that the soul longs to be reunited with God and that true happiness is found through union with the divine. Aquinas tried to balance faith and logic like Aristotle. He said humans are made of matter, which is our body, and form, which is our soul. So, yes, we're physical, but we're also spiritual and rational beings. Unlike animals, humans can think morally, create art, and reflect deeply. Soul is what gives form to the human body. It's our soul that gives meaning and uniqueness to our physical self, kinda like software to hardware. Descartes had a trust issue with the senses. He believed we can doubt everything except the fact that we are doubting. That's how he arrived at I think, therefore I am. For him, the mind defines the self, not the body. The mind is our core essence. The body is secondary. Think about this. Even if you lost all your memories, would you still be you? Now, here comes Hume with a plot twist. He believed that the self doesn't really exist as a fixed thing. It's just a collection of experiences happening one after another. There is no permanent self, just a flow of experiences. The self is constantly changing. Which makes me wonder if we're just a bundle of impressions. What does that mean for identity? Kant thought you made a good point, but missed something important. He said, hold up, someone has to be organizing all these impressions. And that's the self. Your mind is the tool that puts your experiences into a story, gives it order, meaning, and structure. The self makes sense of the world and holds everything together. Without the self, you'd just be a chaotic mess of memories. Thus, Kant said, the mind actively organizes experiences into knowledge. Gilbert Ryle was like, let's stop overthinking it. He believed the self isn't a thing you find by digging inside, it's what people see you do. Just like a classroom isn't a room by itself but a system of people and actions, the self is a label we give to your behavior patterns. The self is not hidden inside, it is in our actions. If you want to know who you are, look at what you do, not what you feel. Actions define us more than internal thoughts. Merleau-Ponty throws out the whole mind-body divide. He said, "We are our bodies. You can't separate thinking from living." Mind and body are inseparable. We experience life as a whole. Our feelings, movements, thoughts all happen together through the body. Imagine dancing, crying, laughing. Those aren't just thoughts, they are full body experiences. When a dancer expresses emotion through movement, the body is not separate from the experience. We exist through our body in the world. That's what he meant by the embodied self. Now it's your turn. Which philosopher speaks to your experience? Maybe you're a Descartes kind of thinker, or maybe you agree with Ryle that action speaks louder than words. Reflect and write. I see myself as, let's be honest with ourselves. The self isn't a one size fits all idea. Philosophers across time and cultures offer different angles. Some say it's your soul, others say it's your mind, behavior, or even your body. The real question is, what do you believe?